So Politico is reporting on something that's pretty low-key fascinating about the 2016 election. I wanted to share this with you. Elizabeth Warren would have accepted an offer from Hillary Clinton to become her running mate in 2016. The Massachusetts senator and 2020 White House hopeful said in a report published Thursday. Warren, who declined to launch her own presidential bid 2.5 years ago, despite intense efforts by progressives to draft her, even received a full vetting for the vice presidential slot by Clinton's team and was interviewed at the candidate's Whitehaven mansion in Washington, according to Bloomberg Businessweek. Clinton seriously weighed Warren as a potential running mate, the report states, and top aide Philip Raines wrote in a memo to his boss after their meeting, quote, "If a crystal ball said she wouldn't antagonize you for 4 years, it's hard to argue she isn't the most helpful for the next 4 months to get you elected." Asked whether she would have agreed to become Clinton's number 2 on the ticket, Warren responded, "Yes." This gives us a little bit of insight into what happened in 2016. And there are so many angles to this, especially when you're dealing with a Machiavellian figure like Hillary Clinton. She is trying to think like 6 steps ahead, and she's very vindictive. And it's possible that Hillary Clinton and her team approached Elizabeth Warren to say, hey, maybe you're going to be VP. We're going to vet you for that. It's possible they approached her about this early on in the hopes that that would prevent Elizabeth Warren from throwing her support behind Bernie Sanders. They often talk about 3-dimensional chess. That would be a 3D chess move for the Hillary Clinton camp to know, well, she's been a thorn in our side in the past, and certainly at the time before the 2016 election, people viewed Elizabeth Warren as almost equal to Bernie in terms of how progressive they were. Now, we know that that's not true. Today, Bernie's way better on foreign policy, and he's a strong pusher for Medicare for all, whereas Elizabeth Warren is tepidly there, if there at all. But if the idea was, float to Elizabeth Warren, you could be VP, and we're going to vet you. And then she goes through that process, and they did it early on. And then she sits out the entire primary, and then she doesn't get picked at the end either way. That actually could have been a 3D chess move from the Clinton team to try to get her to not endorse Bernie Sanders, therefore helping Hillary Clinton. Because here's the thing. I don't think Hillary Clinton had any interest in Elizabeth Warren as VP, even though she said she did, and the team acted as if she did. Because if there's one thing I know about Hillary Clinton, she plays politics. And we know her philosophy, we know her ideology, we know that if you say Elizabeth Warren is VP, what's she going to say? Can't have an all-female ticket, and she's too far left. I mean, who did Hillary Clinton go with? Tim Kaine. So, white man who's a moderate Democrat, supported TPP, conservative-leaning. So, was Hillary ever really considering Elizabeth Warren? My guess would be no, because she doesn't agree with Elizabeth Warren. She thinks Elizabeth Warren is too far left. And I don't think Hillary would want an all-female ticket. She didn't go with an all-female ticket, but I think she would actually be concerned that, that'll hurt our chances because it's an all-female ticket. And in a weird twist of irony here, if she had picked Elizabeth Warren for VP, she would have been more likely to win. I don't know if it would have been enough to actually win the election, but she would have had a much better chance because Tim Kaine got pummeled in those debates by Mike Pence, and Tim Kaine somehow came across as less likable than Mike Pence, and really spit in the eye of the base when she picked Tim Kaine. Hillary Clinton did. If Hillary Clinton picked Elizabeth Warren, I honestly believe there would have been plenty of people who either sat the election out or voted third party who said, yeah, I'll suck it up and vote for them. Elizabeth Warren's VP. I'll suck it up and vote for them. At least you have Elizabeth Warren in the White House trying to influence Hillary and help with decisions that are big-time decisions, and you know it's certainly a further left voice than Hillary is, and she'll prod her in the right direction maybe on some issues. So, man, what a fascinating story and what could have potentially been. But also, let's be clear, this is in no way, shape, or form an exoneration of Elizabeth Warren and how she acted in 2016. Because if this was indeed a 3D chess move and a trick from Hillary's team to get Warren to not endorse Bernie, she walked right into the trap. And even though Elizabeth Warren is closer ideologically to Bernie than she is to Hillary, she was willing to play that political game. She was willing to bite her tongue for a potential personal reward in the future. Just so you know, everybody, Bernie Sanders apparently, begged Elizabeth Warren to run for president in 2016. The reports were that Bernie really didn't want to run for president in 2016. And he wanted somebody else to play that role of being a left candidate in the race. And he begged Elizabeth Warren to run, and she said no. Then Elizabeth Warren had the nerve to not endorse the guy who was trying to get her to run, because they agreed with each other that much that Bernie wanted Elizabeth Warren to run. She didn't endorse Bernie, pissing off the entire left base. People are still mad about it. I'm still upset about it. Everybody's still upset about it. A lot of people are, because it showed that you're willing to put calculation, political calculation, and politicking over principle. And that's basically the last thing that we need at this moment. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think this was a political chess move from Hillary Clinton to try to make it so Elizabeth Warren doesn't endorse Bernie Sanders, therefore helping her? Because I really don't think Hillary ever really wanted Elizabeth Warren, even considered Elizabeth Warren as VP, knowing how Hillary is.